You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
to do
specifically
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got to be
not
kidding.
militia. That's what his FBI. FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving.
When a bat hits you over the head, that's not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is
administration
bad.
tells you the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is a dangerous,
all right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump and
you ought to be
Biden
careful.
records.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wayne Dupree, and you are looking live at Tired Individual.
We do this for you. We love y'all.
For you. We do love you.
Right. It's only for you.
We're so honestly, to tell you the truth, I have not slept since last night.
I find that amazing.
Wayne's been up for 24 hours.
I have been up. I've been up, and I have to say, I've been watching many responses from our side, the other side. I looked at a lot of video. I've tried to go to sleep, and I just can't remain asleep. Last night, well, first off, let me say welcome to all of our awesome followers, awesome individuals that are sharing the show. Thank you so much for sharing the show. We want to thank all of everybody that was watching last night. People giving comments. Let me introduce Leah, Blue Eyes Bella.
That's right. Thank you so much for watching last night. It was a long night, to say the least.
Yeah.
Make sure today you're clicking that share button, and shout out to all the watch parties that are going on. Thank you for watching, but make sure you are sharing the show. That's the most important thing, because we are being suppressed. We have proof of it. So just keep sharing.
And then we have the Bishop, Mr. Brian Smith. What's up, B?
Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, CNN got it right this time. What an absolute show last night.
Yeah, and what Brian is talking about is this.
I will talk about who won the debate, who lost the debate, but I can tell you one thing for sure: the American people lost tonight, because that was horrific.
You just took the words out of my mouth. You used some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a shit show. And, you know, we're on cable. We can say that. Apologies for being maybe a little bit crude, but that is really the phrase that I'm getting, more, from people on both sides of the aisle on text. And
it was.
and the reason why I'm not calling out CNN for this, and if there's one thing that I know is both sides, y'all. I know both sides because I was a former Democrat, and I'm an independent conservative. And after watching a whole lot of responses last night, I'm almost jumping into the Libertarian Party. But I was talking with my daughter. My daughter is 17. 17. I didn't watch the debate with her. This morning, as a matter of fact.
Did you say she watched it with her friends?
She was talking about the debate with her friends.
Okay.
They were 17, 18 years old. Girls that are going to vote, or girls that are 1 year away from voting.
Okay.
And let me tell you something. They were confused, frustrated, angry, turned off.
Welcome to the last 4 years, girls.
and that was for people that had not participated in voting, that were trying to make up their mind about what they were going to do. And they saw grown men up there going back and forth.
Yeah, my 12-year-old and 11-year-old daughter, both of them watched the whole show with my wife. They actually watched our show. They said we did an awesome job. They loved it.
Aww.
And the first words out of my mouth, the first question I asked all three of them, I said, who won tonight? All three of them said Chris Wallace.
Right.
He won. He accomplished what he set out to do.
Yeah.
I asked my husband the same thing. Who do you think won? And he said, well, you can't have a referee siding for one team.
Right. Right.
And he said he thought it was a shame that Trump had to go 2 against 1. And he thinks that there has to be some type of fair moderation, and we can't get it anymore from someone who's in the media. No longer can our moderators be someone from the media. We can't trust it.
I agree.
We should have known this from the beginning. Shame on everybody for allowing it to happen. I don't know how you stop it, but the next moderator needs to be someone bipartisan, someone who's not in the media, who can speak well, who can just read a question and then say, President, you have 2 minutes. You mute Joe Biden's microphone. You let him talk. And then when it's Joe Biden's turn, you mute Trump for 2 minutes. And then when it's open session, you open both mics until it gets out of control. Then you mute both. That's how you do it. And the moderator doesn't say a word. The mute button can do exactly what a moderator can do. We don't need moderators. And Chris Wallace proved that last night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how you undo this. Yeah, I don't know how you undo it.
Yeah. And I'm watching some people in the chat room talk about a wire and stuff like that. You know what? I was awake when that started to go online, and I couldn't believe that conservatives were doing it.
Y'all need to stop.
I really couldn't. I couldn't believe that they were doing that.
Even if he was, it doesn't matter.
Oh, hold on. Let me do something for a second. You see this right here? You see that line right there?
Crease?
Yeah. He had a crease in his shirt. And then when he moved, it went just like that on the right side.
Wayne, why are you wearing a wire?
But watching people, they thought it was a wire. They really thought it was a wire. And then if you look at the video another 10, 15 minutes, it was on this side. It was on this side outside of his thing. I'm like, I cannot believe that they're trying to blame us on a wire. Oh, okay. I tell you what. Could it have been, and I know we were making a joke about it yesterday, could it have been the pens type of thing?
Catheter?
Could it have been something? Because he couldn't go to the bathroom.
Well, that's just it. And that's why I'm actually silent on this, because when I first saw the police shooting that happened where the 2 police officers were shot, the video camera, to me, it looked like a midget. To me, it looked like an actual midget was shooting the police. It did, or a child. And then I found out that the camera angle actually skewed our vision of how tall that person was. That person was actually 6 foot something, but it looked like he was so tiny because of the camera angle. Therefore, I can't comment on it because I don't know if it was or wasn't a wire. I don't know if it was a crease or wasn't a crease. I can't tell.
Right.
I cannot comment.
Right. And here's the thing. So many people are okay. Let's say it was a wire. How is he getting the information?
And if
he didn't have anything in his ear.
Right. If it was a wire, say he had a wire, say it was a wire, say he was getting information in his ear. Do you think that actually helped him last night?
No, it didn't. It didn't help.
Not even close.
No.
It didn't.
So don't go down that road. That's a road you shouldn't travel because it doesn't.
It didn't help him.
It didn't.
No.
The end, going down that rabbit hole, the end of that road leads to no good.
Right.
You guys are sending me links. You're sending me pictures.
Yeah.
I know. Stop it with the links. I'm not in it.
To me, it just makes us look. It makes us look crazy. It does. It makes us look crazy. Trump already was. It was 2 against 1. Everybody knows. It was 2 against 1. Chris Wallace made it seem like it was the Chris Wallace show or the Sunday.
It looked just
show.
like a White House press event against Trump.
And we all knew that. We all knew that when Trump asked Biden questions, Biden couldn't answer it, and he was trying to defer every time. If he was listening to somebody with a wire or with somebody with some information, he would have came back and would be able to respond to President Trump with everything that President Trump was throwing at him, and he couldn't. Every time Trump got him, he would go like this. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. He didn't engage him.
Right. Nobody was feeding him answers.
Why even have a wire if you're not going to engage? It doesn't make sense.
There's a guy that calls himself an investigative journalist and podcaster on the YouTube or on the Twitters, and he sent me pictures of what might this be in the sleeve. I'm like,
the thing is,
you're an investigative journalist.
But it doesn't help either. Whether he had a wire or not, like Wayne said, and you, Brian, it really didn't matter because it was a terrible debate. You cannot have a good debate with a bad moderator. You can't. And that's exactly what happened last night. And so neither side won, in my opinion. Nobody won that.
No.
The only thing I can pray for that happens out of this is we learn our lesson with moderators. They cannot be in the media, and we need to be able to mute out Joe Biden when Trump is talking and mute Trump when Joe is talking. And that is the end of it.
The next one is C-SPAN. The guy from C-SPAN, Sully, he's a correspondent for C-SPAN and Washington Journal, and he does a TV show in the morning.
See, another media. I'm sick of it.
It's he looks kind of soy boyish, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But Chris Wallace came with an agenda. He threw both fists, and Trump even early on said, "What are you going to is debate with you and me? Because if so, that's fine. Okay, let's roll."
Yeah,
and that's the main thing that I took. That's the main thing that I took from President Trump last night is that it was a huge 2-on-1. I mean, it was a huge 2-on-1. Wallace threw those early questions out there a couple of days ago as like I don't know, some type of suppression fire. But then when he got in, he had his own agenda, and that own agenda was to call out President Trump. That's why when you saw the white supremacy thing, I was like, but wait a minute, I know President Trump has called out white supremacy before. So why in the world would you do it now? I mean, that's what the media has been doing to President Trump for the last 2 years, even though he's like when it was a David Duke thing. Trump has called out David Duke a couple times, but they kept on going after him. They kept, well, you need to, but I've already done it. How many times else do you want me to do it? You know, but again,
it wasn't supposed to be a bash on Trump. Like his question with you paid $750 in income tax. Well, if you're going to do that, then you need to call out Joe Biden for his "you ain't black" gaffe, or that's not even a gaffe. Yeah, or why don't you bring up Hunter Biden's millions of dollars? And did you know about that? He didn't call out Joe one time. And it was all
Trump
planted questions.
Well, he cut Trump off a lot of times.
When Trump brought up, Trump was going to bring up the Hunter Biden's and the money and the Burisma and
we're done talking here. We're done. That's exactly what they did. What I just did to you is what Chris did to Trump. We're done. We're done. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Talk.
It's true.
You're done. Shoo.
I can't believe it.
Chris Wallace interrupted Joe Biden 15 times and President Trump 76.
Yeah.
Right, gentlemen.
Which was heavily
Mr. President.
You would have been much later, Joe.
Mr. President.
Much later.
Mr. President.
You're talking about 2 million people.
Mr. President, as a moderator, We are going to talk about COVID in the next segment, but go ahead.
I don't know.
View.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time. So, well,
I got rid of the individual mandate.
I'm going to give you an opportunity.
I got rid of the individual mandate, which was a big chunk of
comprehensive plan.
That is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of Obamacare.
Sir,
Chris,
you're
that was the
debating
worst
him,
part
not
of
me.
Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
I'd like you
and
to,
we will protect
Mr.
people
President,
with
I'm the moderator of this
conditions.
debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your question.
Go ahead. First of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised.
It's open discussion.
No,
let me
but
ask
this
you
is
about.
big. This
You'll
is
be happy,
big stuff,
sir. You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the Vice President. That is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
Will, if I can ask you the question, it will
Not
end.
what your party says, by the way.
The
Radical
question-
left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
Right, gentlemen, I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the court.
We have
I'm not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. That's the end of the
Shouldn't have
segment.
taken the money.
We're moving on.
He didn't take them.
Well,
Vice
it's a very-
President,
but Chris,
no,
can I be honest? It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
No,
He stood up.
No,
He stood up,
the answer to
and
the
he
question is no.
threatened Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you don't
that
get rid of
is
the trust.
You know what?
absolutely not
Stop.
true.
Tape
You're
doing it.
You're going to
You're on
have
tape.
True.
Gentlemen.
Is-
I hate to raise
Chris,
my voice,
he's
but
on
it seems
tape.
to be, why shouldn't I be different than the two of you? I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting
Well, that's
than
all
he
right,
has.
but he does plenty.
Well, less than, sir, less
does
than.
plenty.
No, less than you have.
Done got
No,
$3.5 million.
Not true.
Mi-
And
Mr.
by the way,
President,
my son.
wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word. Can
Because-
you add
No,
back, sir?
no,
He's
I'm
a
not
person
asking.
that's
That was a
not
rhetorical
telling
question.
Unbelievable.
That's sick. That's sick. When you put it
He's
like
on
that,
tape.
now I'm furious.
Biden's on tape saying to a crowd, not a hot mic, if you don't fire the guy investigating my son, you don't get the money. I'll be damned. He was fired. You can't bring that up.
I just wish I just wish that President Trump would have allowed Joe to hang himself a little bit more.
I'm with you. And maybe he'll get that advice. I mean, the people around him are good people.
Because-
Giuliani
because
and the rest.
Trump had a lot of great questions for Biden. And when and for those purists out, for those individuals that know politics, and I'm not talking about the emotional warriors on social media. I'm talking for those that really know politics.
Right.
Y'all saw that Joe Biden couldn't answer a lot of stuff that President Trump was throwing out there. Y'all saw that.
Right.
And every time when Joe got to a place where he couldn't answer and he was looking for an answer, and you'd be like, okay, well, yeah, Trump got him here. Trump would just step right on his foot and say, go ahead and answer. What you waiting for? We got time.
You're right. You're
You know,
right.
it's like-
But you know what else I noticed in those clips?
Mhm.
I think that if Trump would have just let him keep going, that Chris would have saved his butt though too, because Chris was
Yeah.
throwing him out
Yeah.
life support. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we would have heard a Joe Gaff, because every time Joe would forget the
But-
question,
Right.
Don't
he
shade.
would remind him what the question was. Now, Joe, the question is
Right.
it a V shape or a K shape? You said K shape.
Right.
And then as soon as Joe would say something, he'd throw him a life jacket again.
But America would have saw that a whole lot more
Yeah.
than the crap show that happened last night. Where, I mean, honestly, that reminded me of me and my ex-wife, man. I mean,
It was terrible. It was terrible.
I'm serious. I mean, it got to a point that I was looking at both of y'all, and all of us were going, "Oh man."
It was terrible. It's a direct reflection of a bad moderator, too. It really is.
It's like a husband and wife and
The lawyer.
another family member trying to stop the husband and wife from fussing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, but hold on. It's like nobody learned anything from it. But I still think that if President Trump would have given a little bit more time, because Joe was searching for the answers, and that's why I don't believe. That's why I don't believe in this wire shit. Okay, I don't believe in the wire, because if he had had the wire, somebody would have been feeding him the questions, and he would have been back on it. Right. So guess what? The wire. So if there was a wire, it didn't work.
Right. No.
Now, for anybody who's saying Trump didn't denounce white supremacy, okay, fine. But Chris also said, will you denounce BLM to Joe Biden? And Joe Biden ignored the question, went on to something else, and Chris didn't call him out on it. So he would not denounce that either.
You know what? Did he say, will you denounce?
Yeah. And that's what I'm actually trying to find now, the transcripts. Hold on.
I got it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Biden, Bernie Sanders task force, you talked about, quote, reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support?
It means.
Let me, if I might finish the question. What does reimagining policing mean, and do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
Look, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers. As a matter of fact, local police, the only one defunding it, his budget calls for a $400 million cut in local law enforcement assistance. They need more assistance. They need, when they show up for a 9/11 call, to have someone with them as a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what they're talking about, Chris. That's not what they're talking about. He's talking about defunding the police.
That is not true.
He doesn't have any law support.
Look,
he has no law enforcement
that's not
support.
true.
Almost nothing.
Look.
Oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go ahead.
Look,
think. We have time.
We don't have time to do anything.
Think
all right.
Name one law enforcement group that came out and supported.
Gentlemen, I think I'm going to take back the moderator's role, and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is, as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you are the Democratic Party right now, have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the days and months of violence in Portland?
I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it.
But you've never called for the people, the leader. Excuse me, sir. You had never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to bring in the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Really? Here's the thing.
I sent in the U.S. Marshals to get the killer of the young man in the middle of the street, and they shot him. And for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland wouldn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals. They took care of business.
Go ahead, sir.
And by the way, his own former spokesperson said, riots and chaos and violence help his cause. That's what this is all about.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said that.
She said that. And so here's the
all right.
But here's
okay. Going back to the BLM thing that you were talking about, he didn't specifically ask him to denounce.
No, and he didn't specifically answer the question either.
Well,
he totally dodged it.
Right. But it didn't have anything. But it didn't have anything to do with denouncing BLM.
Right? Isn't that a shame?
It was right.
Isn't that a shame?
And he should have.
Isn't that a shame? Chris asked Donald Trump to denounce all the white supremacists, but you can't denounce a terrorist group that doesn't even want the nuclear family to be up there. Isn't that a shame?
Well, I mean, okay, well then he should have did it on his own, but then Chris Wallace should have asked him the question too. If Chris Wallace is going to ask Trump that question, then he should ask Biden, and he did not. But
No.
Well, not only
nobody can
that,
go out and say that he did that he was asked a question and he punted on denouncing BLM because he wasn't asked about it. He was asked about the funding of the situation of that was happening.
And then as soon as Trump said, you don't have one police department backing you up, what does Chris do? Okay, we're done with this conversation. Save Joe.
But then we'll go back to what we were talking before. Biden was in flames.
he was clueless. He was looking down. And
Biden was in
clueless.
flames, and then Trump just jumped right in there, and what that made Wallace say, but wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to get this thing.
All three were bad.
I agree, Leah. That Chris would have walked in and saved Joe from having to answer that question. There's no question about that. But if you see that exchange, that was a long exchange.
It was a long one, and
between
Biden
Chris,
was in flames.
Right, between Biden, 2 questions, and Chris Wallace, and completely cut Trump out. Mm-hmm. Trump comments because he's got to get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Chris shuts it down.
Right.
And there was one particular time last night where Wallace was going back and forth with Trump, and it seemed like it was for 10 minutes.
Oh,
and if you had the split screen, you looked at Biden. Biden was catching almost a second wind.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like Biden was catching his breath, trying to get himself back together again, because he didn't jump in. He didn't jump in when both of them were talking. He was quiet.
Well, and as a moderator, you're not supposed to laugh whenever Trump says nobody's going to show up your rallies, Joe. A moderator should not have laughed at that. He should not have laughed. I'm just going to be fair here. Just like he should not have jumped on Trump when Trump was trying to finish a sentence and he said, Trump, you've been interrupting us more than Joe has. That's not something you say. That was immature. Yes. And that was not needed. And then when Joe said, I can't remember what you were going to ask me, Chris Wallace comes to his savior so that way no one can say it was dementia. Yeah, me too, Joe. I can't remember either because Trump's being so confusing. Chris should have never did that. Shame on Chris. I really think he's career.
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. He was bad the whole time. He was bad the whole time. I just and I'm not saying that President Trump shouldn't be able to get his point across, because President Trump got his point across many times last night. It's just that I just think many times he snatched victory out of the jaws of defeat by jumping into the conversation when Joe was falling out.
Okay, we got a great Patreon. It's following us for a long time. He's a real good guy. His name's Bill, and he texted me and he said, actually, I think Trump won. He separated Joe from his base. He went against Antifa, saying law and order. He dumped the Green New Deal for some imaginary Biden plan. He tacked to the middle, among other areas. Bernie bros not going to be happy. The rest was noise.
Yeah, I mean, Joe did say Antifa was just an idea. Yes. Joe did tell Trump to shut up, which is completely disrespectful. Yeah. He also called him a clown, and this is after Joe and Obama's administration spied on the poor man, and now we know that that's the truth. Then you call him a clown, you call him the worst president ever, you tell him to shut up, and you say Antifa is just an idea.
Yeah, we see your agenda.
AOC has responded about Joe's claim about not backing the because Joe Biden did say the Green Deal was not my plan.
Yep,
that's what he said. And she responds with this isn't news. Kellyanne Conway actually called out.
Yeah, so don't sniff me.
That particular situation, and so did I. But AOC says our differences are exactly why I joined Biden's climate unity task force, so we could set aside our differences and figure out an aggressive climate plan to address the planetary crisis at our feet. Trump doesn't even believe climate change is real. So for her, I mean, it's not the first time that he has thrown her Green Deal out, but if you listen to how he was describing it last night, he said she. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He said she. I was like, okay, well,
Biden said she.
Yeah, Biden.
Yeah, Biden said she.
Biden was basically talking about AOC's plan that he sounded like he was on board, but even though he said that he wasn't on board, he said, well, it's her she something. I was like, well, damn, you just confused. But yeah, Biden decided that he was going to go low with how he treated President Trump. And honestly, I was shocked. I was shocked that he told President Trump that. I was shocked that he said it. But watching other people online last night, President Trump did a whole lot of stuff in the last 3 years in saying a whole lot of stuff to a whole lot of people. So with Biden doing that on the national, you could tell that he was frustrated. And if he was frustrated, I mean, why would a man who was wearing a wire be frustrated if he was getting all the information that he was supposed to be getting?
Yeah, he wouldn't be. And Trump did get in his good licks. I've done more in 47 months. 47 months than you've done in 47 years. That was a great one. Telemundo, who we know it's a little biased, they came out with a poll and they polled viewers. And I'm assuming the poll was Spanish viewers or Hispanic viewers. They said it was a 60-30 win for Trump in their poll.
I saw that. And then what's her name from the White House?
McEnany?
McEnany tweeted out that CNN did a real live poll. They were like 2-1 Trump, a live vote. The problem is when I watched it, there was like 15 to 20 people there and only 3 people voted.
No.
Only 3 people voted because everybody else kept their hands down. It was 2 people that voted for Trump, 1 person voted for Biden, and everybody else put their hand down on who won.
So it was a 2-1.
It was 2-1,
literally,
and everybody else put their hands down. And then CNN did another vote later on, and it was 60-30.
Yeah,
Biden.
Oh, 60-30 for Biden.
60-30 something, but 60-28 or 60-30 something Biden. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you know,
I find that shocking because I don't think Biden put on. He didn't answer questions. He didn't put out policy that was.
No, he was stagnant. I wasn't impressed. There was no wow factor for me with Joe last night.
Right.
It was CNN. It was CNN.
Mm-hmm.
It was CNN.
Yeah. I don't think that this swayed voters right or left. I think that if you were undecided, you're still undecided, and maybe you're even a little bit more confused now. And honestly, I know that everybody wants to say that this was a terrible debate and it was the worst debate they've ever seen. But I think you always have to try to find the silver lining and the good in this. And honestly, if there's any good that comes out of this, it's that the left finally sees how mistreated Trump has been, because they were complaining that Joe didn't get to talk at all. Well, now you know how Trump feels.
Yeah.
Now you know how Trump feels.
And what was that interruption again for Chris Wallace interrupted Joe
17 times and Trump 76 times.
It's beyond unbelievable. Not only that, but in the middle of Trump's answering to Wallace, while he's got the right to talk, he's like a 2-minute right to talk. Wallace interrupted him 3 times in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, President Trump had. I mean, this honestly, and Leah, I understand you about looking for the silver line. This was worse than 2016.
It is. It's the worst debate ever. It's the worst debate ever.
I mean,
in the history of debates.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't even debate. That was a shit show.
But that's what they. But the powers that be, last night all had champagne, popped the corks, and said, "Yes, we got through this. Let's do this 2 more times."
I've seen 3-year-olds work out their differences better than what I saw last night. I really have.
And so many people are saying that Joe Biden probably won't show up for the next 2. Let me go back. I told you he was going to show up. I told you Joe was going to be at the debate, and everybody see, and that's what that's why I'm getting mad at the conspiracy thing about The Wire, because many people, oh, he ain't gonna show up. He's gonna tap out at the last minute. He's not gonna show up. Camilla's gonna. I was like, no, I'm telling y'all, Joe's gonna show up because Joe wants to be president.
Well, let me defend myself because I was one of them. But what you don't understand, Wayne, is I was watching Joe on the campaign trail coughing in his hand and having shortness of breath. So I wasn't being conspiracy theorist.
No,
I was
right,
going by what I was seeing.
right.
He looked ill. And
Right.
then we have this huge COVID-19 supposedly out there killing everybody.
Mhm.
You have a 78-year-old man coughing and hacking, looking frail.
Mhm.
So deductive reasoning tells me that there was a good chance that he might not have shown up because he was ill.
Right.
Just like there could have been a chance that maybe Trump got COVID and was sick and wasn't ill. That's why I was saying it, because the proof was in the pudding. He was hacking up a lung for the last 3 weeks.
Most of the
You can't
things,
deny that.
most of the things that I saw online was that he was on his deathbed. He wasn't going to survive, and he was going to find a way out, and that's what everybody has been saying for the last 4, 5, 6 months. You know, that he wasn't going to be at the debate. The debate was going to get called off, and I was like, no, he's going to be there.
He made a bad showing.
This is his time to shine. And after the debate last night, the word and the reason why I throw that out for the last 4 or 5 months is because of the Wire thing that everybody's talking about. I want y'all to go. I mean, there is a video that I was watching this morning. That's why I didn't get no sleep. There was a video that I was watching this morning that it was a close-up of
his cuff, right?
Something right here, right?
Investigative reporter sent that to me.
At the end of the video, it disappeared. I mean, it disappeared. I mean, totally like, wait a minute. But the hand didn't move. That just went bloop. And it didn't go down. It just disappeared. So I'm like, okay. But the reason why I'm merging that conspiracy with the Wire situation is because now people are saying, well, they probably won't do any more debates after that.
Well, Joe Biden's campaign is coming out saying that they don't think there should be any debates. Well, that's not what was just said a few minutes ago. I'm not sure when this was updated, but now the campaign's saying, maybe it's better off if we don't have debates.
I got that from the Daily Wire this morning. The deputy campaign manager squashes skipping debates, says we are going to do the debates.
That's great.
Well, I'll be honest with you. After last night, why would you skip them?
I know. You're right. And
Joe stood there for an hour and a half.
Right.
I'm shocked.
Exactly. Right. And that's another thing I want to. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that was on my mind when I saw that. I was like, why would you? I mean, everybody said you're going to be falling out. You're going to be falling over. You're going to be going to sleep.
I was told he's going to wander around.
Yeah. And I mean, and he stood up there now, but I still believe that the way that Chris Wallace ran that stuff, because actually the second debate is sitting down. But the way that Chris Wallace did his thing and going back and forth with Trump, it gave Biden time to collect the stuff. It
collect his thoughts, yeah.
You know, to get stuff back, because there were a few times that Joe was like,
yeah, and he was taking notes. Joe was writing stuff down. He was taking notes.
And why in the heck would he be taking notes if he got a wire?
Because you got to jot down what they're whispering in your ear so you don't forget it, Wayne. Come on now, buddy.
I mean, that had to be the most invisible earpiece I have ever seen.
If you on the internets and the Twitters and the YouTubes and the Facebooks, if you want to be an investigative journalist and you're telling people that you are, and you're going out there and you're saying, oh, looky, what might this be? That's not an investigative journalist. It's conspiratorial. You got to let that go. You find out the facts. Use some deduction, some reasoning, some logic, some common sense.
Yeah. Leah, they was talking about the shut up thing. That shocked everybody. Yeah. It shocked everybody.
You don't do that to a president. You just don't.
That was.
What's a cuss word in our house? In our house?
Yeah, shut up. Yeah.
Yo, no, it's you might as well drop the F-bomb in our house.
But it was like he was so frustrated that it was like a hot mic moment.
Yeah.
Because he really knew, you shut up. He was like, man, shut up. You know, kind of like that, you know.
If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now.
Are you gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the question
You want to put a lot
is
of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justices,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so-
list?
All right, gentlemen, I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unpresidential.
court.
but
We
that
have
is-
I'm not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
He says this is so unpresidential. You just told the president to shut up. That's why it's so unpresidential.
Radical left, and he got triggered. Radical
Yeah.
left judges
Yep.
got triggered because he knows it. They know it.
Yep.
They know they're going to pack the court. That they said it out of pure frustration. Nancy Pelosi with quivers in her arrows or quivers in her
Yeah.
Quivers
It was
in her
a moment-
arrows.
Right. That was a moment of frustration from the left because they know they can't pack the court. So it's a bully tactic. It's a threatening tactic to just come out knee jerk. Well, we're going to pack the court. You SOBs.
Yeah. Biden was frustrated many times last night, and Wallace came in for the save. But President Trump is not stupid.
No.
Because President Trump saw what was happening, and he didn't say anything early. He let it go. And then he made that he said, am I debating you? You know, that type of response. But
The fact that Chris Wallace continued, not only that, but if you even listen to that clip you just played, Chris Wallace interrupted Biden too. And he just, like, Chris, get your damn question out. Your question should not be this paragraph of thoughts and ideas. And I'm really going to wrap this up and make this a little, no, ask the damn question and then shut the hell up.
It reminds me of a court leading. You know how some attorneys are like, he's leading the witness, you know, kind of like that. Or he's leading the witness. So yeah, there were a couple of times where he did interrupt Joe, but those interruptions were to clarify.
Right.
The interruption of Trump was to embarrass.
Right. And stop Trump from asking the real question that need to be answered.
Or to stop Trump from exposing Joe. Or to stop Trump from exposing Joe. A few times there, he wanted to talk about Ukraine, and Chris Wallace was like, we're moving on. We're moving on.
But there's a video of it. He was on video in a crowd. No, this segment's over. Shut it down.
You
know, what about his son? What about his son and the mayor of Russia giving him 3.5? Oh, you lie. And in Biden's face, it was no.
And then Chris Wallace is like, change the subject. Let's talk about coronavirus instead. What concerns me the most is after all this happened today, I went onto my liberal friends' Facebook accounts and, I just wanted to see what they were having to say because I like to get both sides. And they were harping on Trump's tax return and Trump's a racist because he wouldn't deny white supremacy. And let me just say this, okay? Everybody forgets when we were worried every day and we were in code red for terrorist attacks. Does everybody remember 9/11? Because I sure do. Okay. Under Obama's watch, you had more than one terrorist attack over here. Okay. ISIS was booming. They created ISIS and they were booming.
Founding fathers of ISIS, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's remind everybody of something. Trump's 401k Trump's unpaid taxes are not going to save you from someone with a bomb on their chest walking into Disney World and blowing it up. Okay? Whether you're white or black, a terrorist doesn't care your skin color. They're going to blow you up and you will die. But you know what? We've been saved because there's peace in the Middle East. He totally annihilated ISIS. We're safer than what we ever been, but you're going to worry about $750 and Trump's a racist? You realize that money and racism doesn't matter when there's a terrorist attack and they're just killing people everywhere. When you have AOC in there and Omar in there, that is the kind of world, that is the kind of United States that you're going to be living in. Sharia law, here you come. And you won't even be able to speak out about your taxes because you'll be getting your hand chopped off. So that's really worry about what's deeper going on here. Because Joe Biden and his cronies, that's what you'll get. You'll get Obama administration on steroids coming at you, more terrorist attacks, more Sharia law, and more riots.
Right.
And
It'll be Kamala.
Yeah,
it'll be Kamala, AOC, Ilhan, Nancy Pelosi. You'll have all of them running this thing.
And what are they all going to say, Brian? Oh, it's a tragedy that there was another terrorist attack in New York City. It's a tragedy that there was a bombing in Disney World. That's what they're going to say. That's just how it goes. Sorry that we're starting to become like London and terrorists are just going around stabbing people. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes.
Sadiq Khan said that's what happens in big cities. Just happens.
Yeah.
The mayor of London.
That's what you want? I'll take Trump. Trump, don't ever pay a tax return again. If you can keep on keeping us safe. Don't ever pay tax return again if you can make sure that ISIS isn't killing us. Thank you.
Right. You've got it all in the world. We can see it everywhere. See it down in Venezuela. See it in Cuba. See it now in Sweden, the UK, Europe.
London's a mess.
They are so angry with the migrations. We are beyond lucky that we're separated by the pond. It's just too much water. But they're being totally and completely invaded. That's what will happen to us when the left gets back their control, because that's how they break down our way of life, our society, and erase our past and usher in a new form of communism called Islam. And you won't get rid of Islam because Islam is human beings. Communism is an ideology in a government form. Now you got human beings being submitted and enslaved, women enslaved into this cult called Islam.
Yeah. And people don't think it can happen. It can happen very easily.
I wish he would have said that. I mean, it's selfish. It's a selfish thing to me, but I wish he would have just said it. I wish he would have said right there on the stage, on the global stage, that he condoned white supremacy. I don't care. I mean, I know he said it before. And we reported that he said it before. We've got video that he said it before. I'll say it again. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. But for me, I just wish he would have said it.
You know, if he said it last night,
because then he wouldn't have given them, the left, more ammunition.
Someone said he did. Go read the text.
They're gonna say it again. They're gonna ask him again.
Well, actually, no, he did. He said, sure, but
I'll condone him.
Right, but
they went into Antifa. Here's the thing, though. Antifa is real. White supremacy? Where are these KKK people? Where are they? I live in Ohio, on the west side of Cincinnati, and there's all kinds of rumors that just down the street from me in Indiana somewhere, there's all kinds of swaths of KKK members and organizations, and I'm 47 years old. I ain't never in my entire life seen or known anybody that belongs to KKK. Where's this white supremacy at?
Yeah. Well, if they are talking about it, they're talking about Richard Spencer and his group.
There you go, which is on the left.
Well, now they are.
They tried to say it was on the right.
Yeah.
And on the left, and I know some older folks that say the extreme right is white supremacy, and you're completely wrong. Because when you look at white supremacy, you look at the KKK, and you break it down, their ideologies and how they want the government to be, they're on the left, far left.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I've seen a couple of, I mean, and this is a media. I think it's a media trick. But you remember Ruby Ridge?
Oh, do I? Good God, seared in my mind.
They tried to label those people up there right wingers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whites.
Almost every report that you saw, they labeled them right wingers. The same thing they labeled the Oklahoma bomber.
Timothy McVeigh. Yeah, Timothy McVeigh.
Right winger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That he had been up there at Ruby Ridge when that happened. And no, actually, McVeigh was in Waco. And they also called David Koresh a right winger too.
Right.
A Christian right winger. But McVeigh, who they also called a right winger. So I don't know, maybe it's a media attempt to destroy conservatism for the last 60 or 70 years like that, but they have consistently labeled the right wing as a terrorist organization.
Because
I mean, not organization. The bedlam of terrorists.
Right. And peaceful, good-hearted, Christian, American-loving people will not respond to that. And the media knows it. And there's no voices. We've got voices now with the likes that we've never had voices before. I mean, go look back and all through the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. This medium didn't actually take hold until, the late 2000s. I mean, we're talking just about 10 years ago. And so now you and I and the folks on the scope, the people in the crowd, and the people that are going to watch this later on, you and I now know that we have a voice in Donald Trump to say, hey, y'all crazy. Y'all done lost your mind. And no, we are conservatives. We love America. And we're as far right as you can get, meaning we're peaceful, we're loving, we're caring, we help our neighbors out, we go to church, we love our Bibles, we love our guns. The KKK, the racist individuals that they are, invented by the Democrats in order to suppress black votes and blacks that were running for office through the Republican Party.
But the thing is, the government is laughing. The left is laughing. The people in politics are laughing, saying, we don't care about white supremacy and we don't care about BLM. We don't care about any race issues. We're doing this because we do not like Trump. Right. We want Trump out, so we want to divide you. We have never cared about you. We have never helped you.
Nope.
And we're not about to start, but we're going to tease you like we are, like we always say we are. And we hate Trump. Obama spied on a sitting president. Hillary said, go for it. They're trying to get him out of there, and they know the best way they can. Let's call Trump a racist, and then let's get BLM and the KKK and all this white supremacy going, so that way all these podcasts will spend 45 minutes talking about white supremacists and BLM, when the real fact of the matter is Obama and Hillary set up a president because of their dealings, because of their illegal actions that they don't want America to find out about, including Benghazi, including the $780 billion sent to Iraq. There's so much shady stuff going on in that Obama administration. The least they can do is say that everybody's racist, including Trump. They want us to spend 45 minutes on this topic. They want us to talk about the $750 that Trump spent with that. They want us to talk about Joe's dementia because it's not allowing you to see what is actually behind the curtain.
As Comey testifies today in the January 5th meeting that Barack Obama had with Comey, Clapper, Brennan, and Sally Yates on January 5th after Trump won, after Obama expelled the Russian diplomats to trigger a phone call from Kislyak to our good friend General Flynn, which is an innocent call. FBI dropped it, said there was no there in the call, left it alone. January 5th meeting happened. Obama said, I'm out in 10 days.
Right, and you're literally probably one of the top 30 people that know that.
Right, you guys need to, you're going to still be in. You guys need to fix this. How are we going to fix this? Well, we got that General Flynn call, but you said there was no there. Well, let's get it. Let's make it there. Let's make it happen. Let's change the 302s. Let's change everything in the narrative and get the Russian collusion running.
It's just, it almost seems so dumbed down to argue, oh, Trump didn't call it white supremacy, or Joe didn't call out BLM. I almost feel like it's dumbed down. Like, I can't even believe I'm having this conversation when there's so much more going on in the government that it's like, wow, they actually got me. They got me. Here I am arguing whether or not Trump should have said this about white supremacists or Joe should have said something about BLM. They got me. You know, look at us all in the chat room going crazy over it when there's even a deeper, sicker thing going on here. What they're trying to do and what they've done to Trump was completely illegal. And now we've got to ask the question, why did they want him out of the White House? What was he going to expose? What is going on? But we're here all talking about white supremacy and BLM.
Actually, honestly, we're talking about a whole lot more than that. We're talking
talking
about the debate, and we're talking about things that happened during the debate. And like I said before, I honestly wish you would have said it, because I'm tired of listening to the goddamn radio over there, listening to the people making commercials about it all fucking morning.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
I agree.
They're using it against him. And I've said on this show many times that President Trump is a billionaire. He doesn't think like us. There's certain things that he does in the way that he lives his life, because he's a billionaire. He doesn't think like us. Right. So if it wasn't that important to say it last night, that's on him. That's on him. I'm just tired of people using it against him. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm tired of people attacking him. I'm tired of people attacking his family. I'm tired of people attacking everything that he's doing, trying to make this country great or to move it in the right direction. However, there are times that he helps it move it along, but that's just who he is. That's just who he is. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, there is white supremacy in this country. There are also a lot of white nationalists that, to me, the white nationalists love this country. Mm-hmm. But if you listen to the narrative, they're trying to merge the two. They're trying to say the white nationalists are white supremacists, and it's not like that.
Same thing, right?
There are black supremacists in this country. There are black nationalists. So, I mean, the supremacist does exist. It does exist. And I look, I understand people want to say, well, no, don't. President Trump, there was one thing that that Joe Biden said that was right. The FBI did come out and say that that's one of the major problems in this country today is the white supremacy, because they feel they have a hold or they feel that they can grow what is happening in this country. And that's why you see a whole lot of stuff happening within these cities, and they're trying to ramp up the race. They're trying to ramp up the race stuff because of what happened under the Obama administration and what's happening now. So, yes, there is this problem. It is not putting food on the table, so it doesn't affect everybody. It doesn't affect everybody. So, I mean, you know, some people are trying to go to college. Some people are trying to get jobs. And yes, there are other major problems, yes. But if that was the major thing talking about last night, okay, guess what? We would damn sure be talking about it right now. But that's what happened last night. Last night, we had a moderator that talked his ass off. We had the guy on the left that couldn't answer basically anything. And we had the guy on the right that wouldn't let the guy answer the other because the other guy couldn't answer anything. So the guy on the right was like, blah, 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 say it, go ahead. Go, yeah, no, you ain't saying nothing. I mean, that's what happened. That's the truth. That's what happened last night. Now, hopefully somebody is talking to President Trump for the next debate. Let Joe hang himself.
Yeah.
Let him hang himself.
He'll do it. He does it all the time.
He can't hold a candle to President Trump. And I said that on the show too. Joe is going to win the nomination. Joe is going to be there for the debates. Trump is going to win the debates. That's just how I saw it, because nobody on that Democratic stage is emotional like Joe. And Joe tried to get a couple of those off. Y'all saw that last night. Brian Lee, you saw him try to get choked up and stuff, try to use the emotional thing. Nobody on the Democratic side has the stories that Joe has. Joe has been here for 152 years. Joe has emotional stories that will make you cry if he can get it in, and that's what he was trying to do.
Right.
But nobody on the nobody in the on the Democratic nominees and whatnot, none of them could do that, and that's why I'm saying that's why Joe is in the position that he is right now. But when he gets on the national stage, he won't be able to beat Trump. The only person that stopped Trump last night was Trump, President Trump. Let him hang himself.
He's gonna do it.
He's going to do it because that's his nature. That's it. He's a gaffe person. Let him go ahead and make the gaffe. And then, you know what? Laugh at him. Laugh at him on stage. You know, like he laughed at you. Laugh at him. Yeah. Hey, did y'all get that? Mm-hmm. Did y'all get that? He just he said
they did it again.
Yeah, he did it again.
They said that he was role playing with Rudy Giuliani, and I just think that maybe he took Rudy Giuliani's advice, and I wish that he wouldn't have.
Because Rudy can be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Pretty brash, pretty rough, pretty
New Yorker. New Yorker.
Yeah.
New Yorker to New Yorker. That's exactly what happened. And that's what you got last night was the New Yorker.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it just wasn't a good look.
You didn't get the Washington, D.C. President Trump. You got the Donald Trump of New York last night.
I wanted to see the Trump of Hillary Clinton debate. I mean, Trump was so on top of that. Wouldn't that have been nice to see?
He went at it at a different angle because it was a woman.
He did. Yeah,
and I think you should treat Joe Biden as a woman.
That's actually a really good idea.
That's right. That's right.
It is.
I agree.
That's actually a really good idea.
I agree with that. And I think that we also agreed that when we first started the show and we started talking about the possible debates and whatnot and the possible matchup of Joe Biden, I think we all said, be careful how you treat him up there because you don't want him you don't want him to have the sympathy card the next day. You don't want Joe Biden to have the sympathy card. So don't go after his mental thing and whatnot. Don't do that. Don't make him look small because that's where Joe excels at playing the emotional card. Well, I remember us talking about it. At least.
Well, yeah, and Hillary, he didn't handle Hillary with kid gloves. I mean, he got at her, but he just used these quick, real zingers, like, well, if I was president, you'd be in jail. Just boom, quick little zingers like that. But with Joe last night, like you said, Wayne, he just kind of kept interrupting and saying, what? Like it just wasn't the Trump that I'm used to seeing.
Right. Well, Rudy Giuliani said Trump has the right to take his head off. So that in itself, knowing that Rudy was coaching Trump, Rudy, I think you coached me a little bit the wrong way.
Wait a minute, you get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this.
Hey, let me just say to you.
No, Mr. President.
Now that was a frustration thing, but guess what? President Trump could have turned that into an easy win. He was like,
absolutely.
Look, watch this. But I'm the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve a lot more respect than what you just gave me. Boom.
Yeah, or he could have said, Joe, there's kids watching. Don't call me a clown. That looks bad. That looks bad, Joe. I thought you were for the kids.
Yep.
Don't say that.
Looks bad on you, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't he? It's just like he was only listening to respond. He wasn't actually listening to what Joe was saying.
And I tell you this. Well,
thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more.
This is the emotional side first, but
thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy by a tune of over $300 to $400 billion more just since COVID. You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers and being and just being suckers. My son was in Iraq He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true.
He went on to talk about the cocaine situation, but as you can see, like we've been saying, Joe decided to go the emotional route.
Well, I'm glad Trump stopped that.
Right. Well, he had to.
Yeah.
He had to so that Joe. But then he went into the cocaine thing, and Joe went right back into the emotional thing again. And the winning message there is Hunter and the taxes, or Hunter and that situation.
Right.
President Trump should have brought that situation and kept pounding it and pounding it, but he brought the cocaine situation in. And, Joe, I mean, honestly, I thought Joe was going to stand up there and cry for a second.
Almost.
Well, Joe did the smart thing by saying, well, a lot of people out there have children that were on drugs.
He said that.
And, my son is now proud because he's clean.
Yeah.
So that makes Joe look good.
Right. Well, yeah, for that
second. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kellyanne Conway came out and said that Joe Biden lied about her.
She did not say that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Lied about that. So she came out this morning and responded to that, which is good. Well,
here's what the administration, well, maybe not the administration, but here's what people on the right have been saying, is that these riots are not they're not hurting Trump. They're hurting the cities. And it's actually people are wanting more from Trump to it actually helps Trump. It really does help. It sounds weird. And I know the way Joe threw that out there was to bash the administration in the way he said it, but we all know what's real. We know what's real.
Somebody just said President Trump should have had more time to respond. Well, if he and Wallace wouldn't have kept on going at each other, he probably would have a little bit more time.
Right. Because in the debates in the past, I've seen it where if the candidate says something about the other guy,
he has a minute to respond.
Yeah, got like a minute to respond. And like that never happened.
I remember that.
And I thought it's funny because Trump asked a rhetorical question to Joe and did not request an answer. And Chris Wallace was like, go ahead. No, you asked him. Now let Joe answer. But then when Chris asked a question, and Trump went to answer it, Chris was like, I was being rhetorical.
Yeah, I remember.
Wait a minute. Trump was too.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
How are you rhetorical as a moderator? You should be throwing out rhetorical.
Yeah.
You're a moderator. If you're throwing out something rhetorical, then you're being more than a moderator.
Tiger Jaw has a great question. Why was President Trump being asked almost every question first? We were talking about that coin toss yesterday. Biden was supposed to be last since Trump took the first question. Mm-hmm. But in some shape or fashion, things changed. And Wallace lost control of the whole situation. It was a crap show, and based on the rest of the moderators, Wallace was probably the strongest one. So I feel sorry for the rest of the moderators. I do. I really do. If this happens again in their second debate, it's going to be worse because the second moderator is not going to be able to stop these two. It's not.
And like I tell my kids when they're out there on the soccer field playing soccer, you got to play so well that you beat the team and you beat the referee's bad calls. Okay, that's one thing for a referee to be bad calls. But it's another thing for the referee to steal the ball from the kids and kick it towards the other goal. That was Chris Wallace last night. Well, you got involved in the whole thing. It was more than a bad call. You physically implanted yourself in the conversations between the two candidates so that the people saw nothing but a shit show.
I'm not ashamed of my race.
I can't control.
You dig it?
Why would Why would you be? You
No,
can't.
I'm talking to Santa Claus.
Santi.
Well, here's the thing: you're born the way you're born. You can't control that.
Yeah,
what you can control is you control.
I'm not ashamed of my race.
Why would he even say that when you were sticking up for your? That doesn't even make
racist.
sense.
Yeah, a racist person would say something like that.
I'm not ashamed of my race.
Just to try to trigger.
Yeah. Okay, so with that said, it's been I was supposed to be going to Leah. I was supposed to be going to Disney toward the end of the year, but
yeah, are you going? I actually needed to ask you about that.
That kind of looks crazy. COVID kills more jobs. Disney to lay off 28,000 park employees.
Damn.
28,000.
Looks like
they got to wreck
is
the
going to be
economy.
standing on the unemployment line.
Yeah, they got to wreck the economy. Wreck it.
I think the cruise ship industry is done.
You think so?
Yeah, it's just so tough to get people on a cruise ship all combined and together like that. What are you going to do? Yeah, out on the water, miles away from the States.
Yeah.
And then what happens if COVID comes? Then you're stuck back out there.
Yeah.
And then you got to wear your mask while you're on the deck. And, they have all those buffets. You have to shut them down. You can only bring your stuff to your tables.
Yeah.
There's no windows. I think the cruise ship it's gone. And I don't know if it'll ever return until, there's an actual COVID's gone. I don't know. I feel bad for the cruise ship industry. I do.
Speaking about the ridiculous, New York State filed lawsuit against Cuomo for forced mask wearing and COVID restrictions.
He says he's going to fine him.
Brian, there you go.
They just filed a lawsuit against Mike DeWine here in Ohio. It's a pretty big deal. People are pissed. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's got to stop. This whole COVID thing's got to stop. I woke up in a bad mood this morning, and I blame it on the debate last night. But, man, I had an eye appointment.
Mm-hmm.
I got triggered. I'm the only one in the entire – I'm the only – you got call from the parking lot to be allowed in. I'm the only one in the entire waiting area, and they have glass windows closed from behind the counter. I sat all the way across the room on the very far side, and I dropped the mask down off my face. She come out the window. I said, I'm 6 feet. And then we got into an arguing match. And she's like, that's possible. You talk to the doctor. I said, all right, I will. I'll get with him here in a minute. Went back in the back. I said, are you the doctor? She said, no. You need to pull that up over your nose. I was like, oh. So I finally saw the doctor. I said, WHO, CDC, Dr. Fauci, I'm telling you right now, this thing has to stop. And it's because of people like you that are continuing this. Well, you're in my office. You want to check your eyes.
That's true.
You got to pull it up.
Got to follow the rules if you want to be Of course he did. Look at his glasses. They're clean.
Checked.
He got his glasses clean too. They're nice and shiny. Yeah.
So and it's I went to get my fade. My lady Penny. Shout out to Penny who loves the show. I went to go see her, and she's like, Brian, if the state comes in, they'll shut me down. I said, I know you got to, but when the overreach of the government to shut these businesses down and take them out of business because of a freaking mask.
Well, get used to it if Joe gets in, because he's going to make it mandatory. So just get used to it if he gets in. And what about the New York City Election Board saying that nearly 100,000 Brooklyn voters received wrong ballot return envelopes?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's bad.
Oops. And then thousands here, thousands there, a couple thousand here. They find them everywhere.
Let me say this because I treasure my co-host. We're going to leave, y'all.
Oh yeah.
I treasure my co-hosts. I think my co-hosts are the most. We agree on a lot. We disagree on little. But for me, I don't have any problem with the mask. I really don't.
I don't either. I wear it.
I've been like that. I mean, I don't have any problem with it because if AIDS was out there, I wouldn't want anybody saying, "Yeah, the mask, we're losing our liberty," and or
get it from a toilet seat.
Some other type of the bubonic plague.
It's coming.
Spreading.
Yeah, it is actually.
I would want everybody. If I was to treat people with respect. I would want people to treat me with respect. And as long as you are an adult and you have to fight the will, ain't nobody gonna take your liberty. Nobody's gonna take your liberty. Just like when Joe Biden was like, they're gonna put y'all back in chains. How many of y'all laughed at that? They're gonna put y'all back in chains if they
thought it was ridiculous.
Okay.
I was actually saddened by it.
The same thing is with taking liberty. They're not taking the Second Amendment away from us. They're not gonna take our liberty away. They're not gonna put anybody back in chains. These are, well, I hate to say it's dog whistles, but these are just statements to put fear in people so that people give that type of reaction. But Leah, me, if you have to wear it because of the policy, that's the policy. Right. If you don't like the policy, find some. And Brian, I'm not fussing with you.
I'm mad at the policy for Mike DeWine. That's who I'm mad about. But I'm mad that these businesses are in lockstep.
Well, but the businesses are looking out for their customers.
Right.
Don't go in there if you got COVID.
Or if you don't know,
right.
They're saying that you can't transfer it if you're not showing signs.
President Trump nobody knows. No one knows the truth.
That's
it's
what
fog
Fauci
of
said.
war.
No, President Trump said it. President Trump said it.
The WHO in the WHO said the World Health Organization.
We don't know.
President Trump said it too. He said that it was killing a lot of people. He said it on tape. President Trump said that.
WHO said if you're not showing signs, it's very, very hard if you're not showing signs to give it off. People should be quarantined. Should be quarantined.
I'm telling
people
you.
Who are not
I'm
sick.
telling you what the president said. Okay, I'm telling you what the president.
Forget the president. I'm talking what's real. If you're quarantining people that aren't sick, that's called tyranny.
I can fix this real easy. The problem with it is if asymptomatic people do not spread it, that's fine. And then Brian would be right. But here's the problem. Most people don't know when they have a low-grade fever. That's considered a symptom. So when you're walking into a business, but most people don't. Most children do not. Most adults cannot tell when their fever is 99.1. That's considered a low-grade fever. And you would be shocked at how many people are walking around with a 99.1 fever that's low grade, and that's considered a symptom, and it can be spread.
And 93% survival rate.
Right, but I'm just trying to defend Wayne here when I tell you that most people don't even realize they have symptoms until after they've spread it.
What is the survival rate again?
93% or higher survival rate.
And how many times has Leah said, "But we don't know the long type condition. We don't know."
I don't know if God's going to show up tomorrow and say, "Hey guys, we're going home."
I had COVID.
The lawsuits that are going to come out 10 years from now from forced mask wearing.
Or
class action lawsuits.
Or for having a disease and their parents dying, and those lawsuits come out that they weren't notified immediately.
We didn't know.
You can go both ways on this, Brian.
We didn't know asbestos was as bad as it was.
No, we did not. But now when they found out, they sued, didn't they?
I know, and they should have. We don't get rid of it. Don't use it no more.
When they found out, though, they sued, didn't they?
Right.
Okay.
We don't, but we can't base today on what tomorrow might or might not be.
But you have to when it comes to people dying. Right? No?
They're surviving.
And they're dying living. Too. They're dying too. They may not be dying on a large scale. They might hold on, wait a minute.
They're gonna die from the flu.
They might not be dying on a large scale.
They dying from other stuff.
I think it's hilarious.
I'm telling you.
Neither one of you have had COVID. I'm the only one here that has had COVID. And let me tell you something. I didn't even tell you this. My husband got tested for the antibodies. He didn't have COVID. I didn't give it to him. Isn't that interesting? Type O. He's type O. They're saying type O's cannot. Yeah, they're saying type O's cannot get COVID. And now we're finding out that he didn't have it, and he has type O blood type. He does not have the COVID. I did have the COVID.
I need some hand sanitizer.
Well, see, look, you're uneducated because I have the COVID antibodies, which mean I am not.
I'm playing.
I'm not contagious anymore.
That's what they told you.
That's what they told you.
Yeah.
But then you'll be in that
It's
class
called
action lawsuit 10 years from now.
No one knows the answers to anything
I'm
because
suing
none
you.
of us know. None of us
you.
know.
I'm suing you though.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nobody knows the answers. Nobody knows what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's down. All we know is that some people get COVID and die and some don't. I wear a mask because, like what Wayne says, I want to respect other people who
That's
are
me.
very afraid. I'm not afraid anymore at all. People will always say to me, why are you wearing a mask if you already had COVID? Because I just want to calm down anybody who is a mask freak. I'm just doing it for their sake. I'm playing into their sake.
Okay, I'll tell you,
So
I did do it. There was a guy.
I don't.
You did it because you need to be seen by the doctor, chump.
Well, I did it one other time. There was a guy that said he had leukemia, or he's battling leukemia or something or other, and I was like, enough said. Enough said. Enough said. I don't want to be in your shoes. I don't want your life, and I understand that what you got going on right now.
Who are you talking about? Your doctor?
Nah, some other guy. Some guy that was doing work for. Yeah. No, I'll never see that doctor again.
We had
That's first and last.
But Leah, hold on. Someone's saying something. But Leah, if you had it, you're not contagious nor susceptible. Right. But if I'm in Walmart, nobody knows that I had it, Judy. So I just wear the mask to keep everybody else calm. Just a respect thing.
I don't wear it to let
the
them
only
all
reason
know
I do
I'm
it.
voting Trump.
I just wear it because I see mothers with children. I see mothers with children who I once did not wear it into Walmart. And I saw a mother with a child who was scared. I could tell that she was worried. I saw an elderly woman who rushed away from me. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to put them in that subject. They might be having a worse day. They might not be able to pay their bills. They might have a family member who's dying of cancer. And now they are going to think in the back of their mind, that blonde lady who didn't have a damn mask on, did she get me COVID? Now I'm going home to my cancer husband. I don't want anybody to feel that way. So I just keep my mask on for other people.
I can't be an appeaser like that. I can't.
That's not appeasing. That's not appeasing.
I tell you what.
That's what would Jesus do? That's what would Jesus do?
No, Jesus wouldn't wear a mask.
Yeah,
no,
no.
No, I'm not saying he would, but he would
probably
make everybody feel comfortable.
He'd go around and
heal everybody.
He wouldn't wear a mask.
Right,
but
he would make everybody feel comfortable. I'm not here to make someone feel uncomfortable about
Jesus is not making people feel comfortable. Jesus is being just the being with God in it.
Wayne, I'm Brian. What I'm trying to say is, he wants you to have peace with everybody and love thy neighbor. And if you're not wearing your mask and your neighbor's worried that you might give them COVID, then you're not loving thy neighbor. Exactly. That's the only reason why I wear it.
No, it's the government.
No.
That's not right, Brian.
I need my foil. I need my foil.
No,
that's not it at all. I can't even get COVID. I can't spread COVID. I've already had it.
Hold on, here's my protection.
I just don't want to scare the poor old woman who has cancer that's shopping in Walmart. Who might believe into all of it.
My foil lined hat.
It's not appeasing someone. It's just trying to.
And look, and I'm with her. I'm with her. I'm
not
gonna
with
wear it.
One of y'all.
I'm gonna wear it because I want people to know that I care for them just like I would want people to care for me. I don't feel my liberties are being taken.
I want people to know that this is all a hoax. This is
for a mask.
These are jokes.
Think about that. For a mask,
these are jokes.
My liberties are being taken.
No, I don't feel that way.
A lot of people do.
Well, okay, that's
a lot of people do. My liberties are being taken because I gotta stick to policy and wear a mask.
Just to let everybody know, I don't like wearing the mask. I think it's ridiculous, and I can't stand my governor for making me wear it. Yeah. But I'm doing it because I don't want the elderly lady who does believe, who is a Democrat, who is a crazy liberal, who believes that she's going to die of this COVID, to be afraid when she goes home. I just don't want to be like that.
Where's the faith? Okay. All right.
Well, I just don't.
I'll tell you this. I tell you this. I wouldn't. Well, whatever.
I'm just trying to be.
No. I'm not gonna feel. Believe me.
I'm not saying the mask protects me either.
I haven't come out and slammed the ones that are wearing the mask. I mean that. Excuse me. That won't wear it. But I support those that do, and I'm going to support those that do, because I have some children. And we have been fine as long as we have been following the rule. You're talking about a house that has a certain amount of people in it. And if you look at the numbers that have been going up in the counties and stuff, not one person in my house has got it. Not one.
Nobody here. No, we've got dozens of people coming in and out the whole time.
I did get it. No, the blonde lady's not going to spend her whole life making sure everyone is comfortable with everything she does. That's not me at all. In fact, I probably make everybody feel uncomfortable because I speak my mind and tell it how it is. Yeah. I just don't care about the mask because I'm stronger mentally than that. I don't care.
Ain't nobody
it doesn't matter to me.
Ain't nobody
if I want to wear my mask, I'll wear it. It does not bother me. And it might be because of my medical background. A mask to me was just second nature anytime that I had to do anything. So it doesn't matter to me. But I'm not bowing down.
I ain't afraid of you.
I ain't afraid.
I don't feel bad for wearing one, and I don't feel bad for not wearing one.
Jump.
It just all depends. Now, when I go down south a little bit where it's more Republican, I don't wear masks.
I will.
I don't wear one because no one else is wearing one. But if everybody else is wearing one, then I'm like, okay, did Leah just call Brian simple-minded? No.
No, Brian's a heathen.
I'm the guy at IKEA when a young kid, the youth, asked me, "Where's your mask at?" I said, "Oh, I can't wear one." He said, "Oh, okay. Well, go down to the front door and ask the guy for a wristband."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay, thanks, man." So I went down there. I got the wristband he gave me. I walking around, employees coming up, people coming up. Hey, oh yeah. I said, "Oh, no, I'm protected. I got the wristband."
And I tell you this, my mom is 93 or 94 years old. I can't take that chance.
My mom's in her 70s, mid 70s.
I can't, and I'm not. I was worrying about her. I mean, I even got her mask and stuff like that, but I worry about her all the time. Because I still believe COVID is that switch. It's a switch that finds that trigger and flips off that flips on something and takes out the people that are weak or those ones that are underlying conditions. I've always felt like that because when you start hearing, this person died of COVID, but they had underlying conditions. Well, this person died and they had underlying. Okay, so before COVID came, they had underlying conditions, but they were still alive. And then they got COVID, and then then the underlying conditions that they had, they're gone. I was like, that thing must go through the body and find whatever it is and flip that switch, man.
Well, my cousin
was dangerous.
My cousin was 47. He died of COVID in May. I had COVID. It messed up my blood sugars pretty bad. But I will say one thing. I will agree with people. I had to wear my mask for the longest amount of time that I ever had last Saturday night. The Saturday before for like 6 straight hours. It was miserable. And I will tell you, the next day I had a sore throat that lasted 3 days.
You know what? I went to Atlanta a few weeks ago, and I wore my mask for the longest. Getting on the plane, being on the plane, getting off the plane, in the car, driving to the hotel, in the lobby of the hotel, wherever I had to walk around the hotel. I had to wear the day after I came back. You remember I told you?
Yeah, it felt like an empty chest feeling.
Yeah, and we found out that it might have been something else, but
yeah,
it was like it felt like I had a hollowness right here.
Right.
And I was like, damn, I'm breathing kind of. I was like, man, I hope I didn't, something, because we also had a military guy who was walking around the airport without a mask. And that guy just happened to be in the seat in front of me.
Now, did that worry you? Now, did that come across your mind?
Yeah.
Did that guy give me COVID?
Yeah.
That's honestly the only reason I wear a mask. So that way I'm not worrying other people.
But
I will tell you, one of my best friends is a laboratory scientist who I just got to see over the weekend. This is alarming, you guys. And I can't mention her name or where she works, but she does work hand in hand with what's going on with COVID. And they just received an email out that said that the flu shot is going to make you more sick this year. It's going to cause a stronger headache because the flu shot itself, they have made stronger because they fear COVID and the flu mix. So I don't get the flu shot. I don't know if you guys do, but that really is scary about the flu shot.
Nope.
Never.
I ain't getting that. I ain't getting.
I got too many shots in the Air Force. They gave us too many.
Yeah,
I got
done.
enough. I got enough for 2 lifetimes.
Yeah, I graduated from that.
Yeah, I won't do it.
I got my diploma. I'm out. I'm out.
So for those of you that's on the fence about the flu shot, I don't know, because she said she got it and it gave her a severe headache, and they said, yeah, we're making it a stronger batch this year just to really amp it up. And they're really not coming out and telling people that.
I had
They
a feeling.
probably should.
Yeah.
You
I had a
did
feeling.
call that, Brian.
Yeah.
You
I
said
had a
that a
feeling.
few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm done. I mean, yeah, give me a shot. I'm gonna give you a shot. That's just how it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more day this week. I'm going to sleep. I'm tired.
Yeah,
now.
you need to. You've been up for 26 hours.
You don't tell me what I need to. I told you I ain't afraid of you.
Well, you
No
need
fear.
to.
No fear. No fear.
No fear.
No.
Get it, Brian.
No.
No, we're done. We're exhausted. No more debates. No more arguing.
Yeah.
It's been a
Well,
long day.
the Pence and Harris one will be a spiritual one. So that's
That'd be the devil and Jesus going at it.
No, believe me. I bet you they talk more about religion than anything. I bet you. I promise.
It's gonna be like amoxicillin and herpes.
Ooh,
Pence is the amoxicillin.
how do you?
She is the herpes. What do you mean, Willie Brown? You know all about her.
Yeah, but moxicillin cure herpes?
I don't know. Does it, Brian?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
No,
I
there
would
is
have
no
idea.
cure for herpes.
Oh, I didn't.
I think you can.
Herpes
Isn't that something you can take? Yeah, isn't there like a? I don't know. I don't
See
know.
the commercial on TV. They're having all kinds of fun. They're going hiking and fishing and camping. I want to get what they got. Can
Yeah,
somebody give me
really.
What they got?
And they're not wearing masks.
No.
Let's
There's
go for it.
spelunking, all kinds of stuff.
I have herpes too.
Oh, man, looks like he's having fun.
Look
what
at that.
he's got.
No mask. He's fishing,
How do
laughing.
I have fun?
I think
Yeah.
he's been up for 24 hours. Wow. That looks fun. Abrevia. I think it's called Abrevia. You can get the
Yeah,
herpes on the
Abrevia.
lips and put your stuff on.
Ugh.
Oh, look,
Nope.
he must have herpes. He's happy.
No thanks. No, he's just gay.
I don't answer unknown names. Okay,
Nope.
so all right, we'll be back tomorrow, y'all.
Yep.
We're gonna get some tiredness. They went 90 minutes without going to the bathroom. I've gone 12 and a half hours without going to the bathroom.
That's erase that from our memory last night.
Yeah,
That debate. Let's just erase it.
I can't.
I know. It's 90 minutes we can never get back.
Yeah, it was a shit show.